and welcome to another episode of Sewing and Scripture. Today we're going to begin our new series in the book of Romans. First, if you are enjoying these videos, go ahead and hit that like button, make sure you're subscribed to the channel, and hit that notification bell. In addition, we are called Sewing and Scripture. We are meant to sow into others, so be sure to hit that share button. You never know who needs to hear a word from God today, and it may just come from you. Finally, I'll post a link to our Etsy store here on the screen and in the description down below. And be sure to stick around for the end of the video for a special treat. Now let's begin with our introduction to the book of Romans. So Romans has been called the Constitution of Christianity, the Christian Manifesto, and the Cathedral of the Christian Faith. It is noteworthy for being the most complete compendium of Christian doctrine. So let's get to the historical setting here in the book of Romans. What are we looking at? The Epistle of Romans was written between 56 and 58 AD from Corinth during Paul's third missionary journey. Before his departure for Jerusalem, Paul stayed in Corinth for 3 months. In Romans chapter 15, verse 25, and verses 30 through 32, Paul anticipated his departure for Jerusalem. Following his trip to Jerusalem to deliver the collection for the Jerusalem saints, Paul intended to make a fourth missionary journey to the western extremity of the Roman Empire. He wanted the Roman Church to assist him making that journey and wrote this epistle to establish contact with the Roman Church in preparation for the anticipated visit. The church at Rome was most likely founded by converts of Peter's ministry at Pentecost, or perhaps Paul's ministry, who had migrated to Rome. Rome was the center of the Roman Empire. Because of the Roman passion for road construction, travel was relatively easy, and the saying, "all roads lead to Rome," was literally true. The Greek language was common throughout the Roman Empire, for it was the language of culture. Latin was the language of government. Citizens moving to Rome would have no trouble communicating in their new environment. The church was primarily made up of Gentiles and had very little central organization or local church government. Small groups of believers met all over the city. This is the reason the epistle is not addressed to the church at Rome, but to saints. This is different from 1st and 2nd Corinthians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, and Galatians, which are addressed to churches in those cities. It is possible the Gospel of Mark was written in 68 AD to this same group of saints. The Apostle Paul desired to visit Rome and planned to fulfill that desire. He wanted to instruct them in his gospel. Phoebe was in Corinth and was going to make a trip to Rome. This gave Paul an opportunity to send the letter with her. The Apostle Paul had 3 objectives in writing this epistle. 1. To teach them the fundamental doctrine of salvation in order to fortify them against the Judaizers. 2. To explain the unbelief of Israel and vindicate the faithfulness of God in his dealings with Israel. And 3. To give practical instructions concerning Christian living in the society of his day. So now let's cover the authorship of the book of Romans. We know from chapter 1, verse 1, the author of this epistle is Paul. In addition, the author makes some personal references that are only acceptable to Paul. The case for Pauline authorship is conclusive and practically unquestioned, both in the history of the church and the modern scholarship. So that concludes today's video. If you are enjoying these videos, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed and hit that notification bell. In addition, hit that share button. And finally, we do have our Etsy store, and I'm going to go ahead and post a video just so you can get a sneak peek into how an engraving is done. The link to the store will be on the screen and in the description down below. So once again, thank you for joining us, and I hope you are looking forward to the book of Romans. Join us next week for chapter 1. Have a great, wonderful, and blessed day.